What's going on, guys? Derek Blackman here. Hope you're doing well. Now, I want to talk about Elden Ring and From Software games in general because it's the talk of the town. A lot of controversy always about easy modes and whatnot. Elden Ring, very successful, huge hit. Very enjoyable game. I sunk about 70 hours into it, beat it, and covered the map. Had a great time. I wanted to start another character, but I just didn't have enough time, man. I was losing sleep, going to sleep at 5 and 6 in the morning. I just don't have time. And I mean, it kind of lends to some of the stuff that some people are saying, but at the end of the day, you got to do what you want to do if you want to enjoy it the way you want to enjoy it, right? So let's start off right up the top, man. I want to just kind of talk about there's a solution to, I feel like the people that want an easy mode, they want a more casual experience and stuff. I think there's a solution, but before I just get into that, I think we have to just address that we all know there's never going to be an easy mode in From Software games. That's just not how they're designed. They're never going to be designed that way. And let's face it, the more hardcore fans would freak out if there ever was one. You know, they would freak out big time. You know, like say, as much as I find the arguments and the people complaining about wanting one and campaigning for an easy mode and stuff, even though they're never going to get one, as annoying as that is, I find the hardcore section of like the small pocket, those religious zealot type of players. You've seen them. The real gatekeepers, the ones that would be so offended if there ever was an easy mode. Like a lot of people would be annoyed just even seeing it there, aesthetically even being there, they would just be annoyed. They're like, how dare you guys betray your own franchise and what you guys are about? But there's people that would literally freak out. And those people are more annoying to me than the people that are campaigning for an easy mode. Because at the end of the day, the people that are campaigning for an easy mode or easier accessibility or whatever, you know, whatever they're crying about, at least it's about them. At least it's about them and their experience. These other people, they're like mad at other people's experiences because they're playing the way that they want to play. Right? Everybody's playing the way that everyone that's enjoying From Software games and enjoying Elden Ring, they're already playing the game that they're playing it the way that they want to play, and cool. So what's going on here to why you're so angry that they're not enjoying it the way that you think they should enjoy it? Like it becomes very like there's like a lot of zealotry within it. It's like you need to experience this in the way that I want you to experience it. You are cheating yourself. These games are designed this way and you need to, and it's like, personally, I don't care about that. I don't care about the people, especially strangers, that I don't know and I literally don't care about. I don't care how they experience their games. Dude, if they want to buy a copy of Elden Ring and they want to shove it up their ass, I don't care. I mean, that's hilarious. That's funny. But I don't care if they're like, I don't even want to play the game. I just want to just make sweet love to my copy of it. I'd be like, all right, okay, cool, man. Like, I literally do not care how you want to enjoy the game. There's so many different ways to enjoy things as far as video games, as far as just anything that comes to entertainment. It's very strange when people are like, how are you not, like, I need you to see this through my eyes. I need you to experience it the way, like, it's going to be like a come to Jesus moment. It's going to be like you were baptized or something. And I'm like, I don't care about that. You know, like, I don't care. And you may even be right. And what I mean is that if you experience it that way, it may be more rewarding, right? It's kind of like, say, going to the gym and working out. I know there's people that just casually want to jog around and not do much. But then there's people like me that like destroying and shredding my muscles and the feeling of the soreness and like, man, that hurts so much, but I know there's going to be so much progress. Like, I've been hitting the gym pretty hard for the last few weeks and I feel so much stronger. And I'm like, oh man, I miss this feeling. And it's like, there's a part of me that's like, yeah, dude, I'm sure a lot of people would love to feel this way. But you know what? I never just openly complain to people. Like, I never go to them or like talk to them and say, you need to do this. You have to do this. It's, hey, if you want to do this, I'll help you. It's as simple as that. Like, if you're looking for it, boom. I'll put out some stuff. If I can say some stuff, if anybody wants to use any of this advice, gravitate towards it. But I'm not going to shame you for not wanting to do things the way that I do it. And I feel like that's what a lot of people are doing with these From Software games. So like, you're not playing them this way. You need to struggle. You need to struggle on some of these things. And there's some people that don't struggle. They just say, get good. You're a scrub because you just can't play the game on my level. And I'm like, that's dumb too. right? So that stuff annoys me quite a bit. But like it just, I don't think it's the entire fan base. I don't think it's largely. I think there's just the loudest people in the room, right? It's always these crazy minority people. They're the loudest ones in the room. And I think it's kind of the same thing goes for the people on the easy. There's some creators. There's some creators out there that are saying some pretty wild stuff, like, "Oh, video games are supposed to be enjoyed for everyone. They're supposed to be for everyone. Like, so if not everyone can play, then it's garbage." And I'm like, "Okay, dude. Like that is so stupid. It's so dumb it almost shouldn't even be, I'm already kind of I'm addressing it, but you know what I'm trying to say. It's such a dumb take that it almost shouldn't even be addressed. It should be ignored largely. But anyway, I want to say this too. If there was an easy, let's just say just from Software and Miyazaki, they just lost their minds for some reason. They got replaced with some AI or something, or aliens took their place and they're all dead in dumpsters or something. And then they just put easy modes in the From Software games. They just put an easy mode in Elden Ring. Like, Elden Ring did so well in sales. Like, we would get even more sales by getting these super casual, like, Nintendo Switch type people, right? We'll put an easy mode in there, and then they'll get on it too. If that happened, I wouldn't care even a little bit. Why? Because an easy mode in every game I don't even pay attention to it. I can count on one hand, on one finger actually, the amount of times I've used an easier casual mode that I can genuinely remember. Because I remember the first time that I played Dragon Age Origins. At the time, that year, I just didn't have time to play RPGs. I didn't have time. I was just playing, Call of Duty multiplayer, just playing Modern Warfare 2, and then I was playing like some Marvel vs. Capcom 2 online. That was about it. I was doing a little bit of PvP. I don't really do PvP anymore, but that's what I was doing. And I was like, I really want to try because BioWare has a great reputation, right? Mass Effect, Knights of the Old Republic. And then so I tried it. I loved it. I tried it on casual because so I didn't have to like worry about, my gear and everything. And I didn't want to get slowed up and had to re-strategize or anything if I couldn't beat a boss or whatever. I just want to blaze through it. I enjoyed it so much that I upped the difficulty and I started enjoying it the way it was intended. But I'm just saying, like, usually they don't matter to me because I don't think about it. So if there was one in there, it wouldn't change the way that I played it. I would play it on the normal setting. Like, usually you even see the setting that's like, this is the way that the developers intended to play, like how it to be made. You'll see there's that one setting. It usually says something like that in the subtext. And it's usually one step above normal. It's usually hard. Very hard for the people that like, that are more into the Soulsborne games, They want to kind of punish themselves a little bit. The harder the challenge, the better and rewarding it is for them. All power to them, man. That's just not normally how I play games. Like, it reminds me of some of my closest friends I used to live with. Whatever game it is, put it on the hardest setting right away. That's how they played it. And me, I'm like, let's take it down a notch. Just one notch. You know what I mean? That's how I play the games. I didn't need to be... You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And I also want to say that I've seen so many different arguments on why it just shouldn't be there at all. I just don't agree with any of them because, like, I just know none of those people would ever touch it. And it comes back to being worried about how other people would experience games. They're saying, but you're not experiencing the game you're not experiencing the way that it should. Now that you have the option, you probably will try it now and you'll probably put it on there. And I'm like, yeah, maybe they will, but what is that going to do to you? Like, I just don't care. I honestly, genuinely don't. And I feel like a lot of people can maybe benefit from caring a little less, being a little zen, dude, just chilling out a little bit, right? Just kind of chilling and just play the games as you want to play them. Now, I finally want to just talk about the solution. I'm sure a lot of you probably have heard some solutions like this. I don't see it discussed often enough. But I feel for the people that really want to get into the Soulsborne series, there's the whole franchise, just everything, even Sekiro and Elden Ring. The one thing you can do, if you really care enough, and some people do, you can invest. You've already invested probably in a really expensive console. Might as well invest in a PC, a gaming rig, and then you'll have access to mods and trainers. And mods and trainers will allow you to just do a bunch of wacky things in the game, including making them easier, or making them harder. There's a lot of people that talk about like, oh, play the game the way it's intended. You should play it the way that the Miyazaki and crew envisioned it. However, then they'll go and mod the game infinitely harder the way that it wasn't intended. You know what I mean? Like, it's totally fine to make the game infinitely harder, but if you make the game infinitely easier, then it's a problem. And that's where I'm like, so it's not about integrity of the game, right? It's just, I don't know what the argument is, but I feel like a lot of things kind of fall flat, where I think there's no problem modding games where if you want to make them easier or harder. You don't have enough time, you're not good enough, whatever it is, just go have at it, have a great time. Like, say, I imagine if I put mods and trainers on From Software game, let's say Elden Ring, I could probably beat it in like, I don't know, it's big map, so let's just say 10 hours or something. If I just blaze through it and I could just one-shot everybody, it would be hilarious. You know what I mean? Like, it's possible to do stuff like that. So people, if you cared enough, it's like, say, let's go back in the day, Nintendo, there was Game Genie, and then I just pulled this out of my storage, PlayStation, you had Game Shark, right? Now, normally we use these bad boys after you beat the game. Once you beat the game, now you can have fun with all your codes and cheat codes and everything. But sometimes there's some games that you weren't that invested in, you just want to blaze through them. And actually, my stepmom, she huge Lord of the Rings fan, and I had Two Towers on PS2, and she wanted to play it, but she was getting her ass kicked, so I put some cheat codes on for her, and then she just had a great time. She had a great time. She didn't care about, like, damn, but I wish I would have got good, I wanted to challenge myself to keep these orcs off the tower, you know what I mean? She didn't care about that. She was like, oh, look, Hell's Deep, that's cool, and then she just whipping everything out. She wouldn't have been able to get that far without that stuff, and it was cool. I thought it was pretty cool. She had a great time, and I was glad to help her have a good time. And everything was good. There was no video essays made about how she cheated herself or anything like that. So I don't see any problem with doing the same thing. Hell, I do that with NBA 2K games. Like, I used to play NBA 2K2 on Dreamcast back in the day, and you were able to manipulate your stats like as much as you wanted. And then the game started getting more realistic, and I stopped caring about the games because I wasn't trying to play real simulated NBA basketball. And then, so when I got my gaming rig, I finally got back onto the 2K series in 2K19, and then I just started screwing around in the games. Started putting trainers on and mods and stuff. Didn't do PvP though. I despise people that cheat in PvP, and that's one thing, obviously, that I should really emphatically preference. That I feel like people who actually cheat playing player versus player are just dog shit people. But if you're just playing PvE, just the computer and stuff, have at it, have a great time, and that's what I do. I'm playing NBA seasons, and I'm doing the dumbest stuff, and it's hilarious. And I feel like there's a lot of people that would benefit from doing stuff like that in these type of games, just screwing around, just checking out the world, whooping everyone's ass, and it's like, yeah, they're not playing it the way that you specifically want them to play, but they're playing in the way that they want to play it, and I think that's great. So yeah, I think there's some people that may have some issues with that stuff, but just like I don't care if people want to play easier or harder, it just doesn't matter at the end of the day. I really just think people should just be happy with how they want to play games and try to actually find solutions on how you want to play something if you really want to play it. It's just like back in the day and those old JRPG games, we didn't have to cry about, oh, there should be an easier this or an easier that or whatever. It's just, well, I'm going to have to grind. I'm going to have to take a weekend, and I'm not doing anything this weekend, and I'm grinding till I'm able to beat these bosses. That's just how you did things. And you can do the same thing with Elden Ring. You can do the same thing with From Software games in general. You can do that. But a lot of times people, their argument is, I don't have enough time to do that stuff. So that's why I say, then invest your money in getting something that you can use mods and trainers and whatnot. There's a lot of people that do it. If you look at some prominent trainers that are on the PC and see how many users are playing specific games, you'll notice that there's a huge community of people that actually are doing this. Maybe you don't even know about this and you feel like you're kind of betrayed. It's almost like finding out that, there's more than one religion. You're like, what? My life's a lie or something. I'm like, dude, it's just, you realize that people are individuals and they're going to enjoy it the way that they're going to enjoy it. But yeah, that's all I got to say. Let me know what you guys think. Maybe maybe you're one of those people that just can't accept people wanting to play games a specific way or in a casual sense or whatever. Fair enough, and maybe you have a different take of something that I haven't heard before, but I've seen quite a few video essays, and I'm just haven't been, impressed with any of the arguments of why there shouldn't be one. Like I said, I don't care, and we already know there isn't going to be one, but I just don't see, like, why the hell I would even care, even in the slightest. If they just slapped one in, I'd be like, shrug shoulders. I'm not going to play it, so I don't fucking care. See you guys.